The use of steroids and performance-enhancing drugs in professional sports is one of the most confusing but yet fascinating scandals in the sports world. It leaves so many people wondering why, or was it worth it? One of my favorite quotes in this instance is never ask why, because the answer will scare you. The professional sports industry is always extremely competitive, and athletes will do anything they can to try and get an edge on their competition. The question it raises for everyone is, why jeopardize your career for a bit of an advantage? To try and get a better understanding of this, we're going to take a deep dive into one of the most infamous cases in sports history. This is the case of Barry Bonds. Barry Lamar Bonds was born on July 24th, 1964, in Riverside, California. From the moment he was born, Barry was a part of baseball, with his father being Bobby Bonds, a major league outfielder for the San Francisco Giants. His family also included his cousin baseball great Reggie Jackson, as well as his godfather being the legendary Willie Mays. The pressure was certainly running high for Barry to make the big leagues. It was evident that he had carried on the gift from a young age, excelling in high school. The Giants tried to draft Bonds right out of high school, but he chose to go to college and play baseball for Arizona State University. He would be drafted later by the Pittsburgh Pirates in 1985 and would join their roster officially in 1986. Soon, Barry had become one of the best in the league, winning multiple Golden Glove awards for his play in the outfield. But he was most known for his tremendous hitting ability and extremely high confidence.
Really close friends, and Doc would tell me, he goes, during off season, you're such a different person, but during the season, you can be such a butt.
In 2004, he had become just the third major leaguer in history to hit the 700 home run mark. He amassed an outstanding 7 league MVP awards, but his fame and stardom would soon take a turn for the worst. On October 23, 2003, the grand jury investigation began on Barry when suspicion of steroids and PED use became public. It became known during the trial that Anderson, Bonds' personal trainer, had given him a special cream, although Bonds testified saying that he thought it was just for nutrition and health. It would later come out that this cream had in fact been a steroid substance. In December of 2003, in front of a federal grand jury, Bonds would testify that he never paid Anderson for drugs or supplements, but acknowledges paying him $15,000 for weight training. Bonds testified that he asked Anderson to have him tested for steroids because he lacked trust with MLB, which started testing players for steroids during the season. Bonds was told by Anderson he was negative. During his testimony, Bonds also says Anderson brought products into the Giants clubhouse at Pac Bell Park, once a homestand, where he used them. Bonds testifies to the federal grand jury that he gave Anderson a $20,000 bonus and bought him a ring after the 2001 season in which he hit 73 home runs. He also bought the trainer a ring to commemorate the Giants' 2002 World Series appearance. During his testimony, prosecutors asked Bonds about calendars seized in a raid on Anderson's home that contained his name and notes about performance-enhancing drugs. Bonds replies, "I've never had a calendar with him, never had anything." Bonds could also not explain a calendar with the name Barry on it, nor a note indicating an invoice of $450 for blood tests. Later in 2005, Kimberly Bell, a graphic artist from San Jose, said she dated Barry Bonds from 1994 to 2003. She was brought in by prosecutors in the Balco case to testify before a San Francisco jury the previous week. Bell was questioned on Bonds' finances and whether he used steroids. According to the Chronicle and 2 sources familiar with the testimony, Bell said Bonds gave her $80,000 to help purchase a house in Scottsdale, Arizona, and admitted to her in 1999 that an elbow injury in which he had to undergo surgery for a bone spur and a torn tricep tendon was caused by his use of steroids. To this day, Barry Bonds has never officially admitted to any wrongdoing and was never suspended by the MLB for his supposed steroid use. His personal trainer, Greg Anderson, would be convicted of distributing performance-enhancing drugs to elite athletes and served 3 months in prison and 3 months home confinement. Barry Bonds would go on to retire from professional baseball in 2007, and despite being the all-time leader in home runs, along with many accolades, he would never be inducted into the Hall of Fame. His legacy was tarnished. This case is a very good example of just how harmful PEDs can be, not only to your health, but to your reputation. Barry Bonds was never actually proven guilty for his use of steroids, but still finds himself outside of the considered baseball greats because of his actions. This is just one of the many cases in sports history. Steroids truly leave a stain on your legacy.